Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to tell you all the story of how I found out that I was pregnant with Kaden. Some of you guys may know the gist of how I found out, but there's a lot of stuff that I left out. I don't think I've ever really went into detail about what happened. So I'm going to start off with months and months before I actually got pregnant. I was getting birth control at the school nurse, and they only would give me 3 months worth, and then I would have to get a pap smear. And being 16 years old, I didn't want a pap smear. Who wants a pap smear? And I was young and I was just really uncomfortable about that situation, so I just didn't go to my appointment and I didn't get a pap smear, so I was unable to get birth control pills. So fast forward into October 2012, Dan and I had been dating for a year and a half, and we were sexually active, obviously. I don't really know exactly how I was feeling at that time, but all I know is that I knew I was pregnant. I just knew that I was pregnant. I told my friend Taylor that I thought I was pregnant, and she said that I could come sleep over at her house and we would go to the dollar store and get pregnancy tests. I went to go stay over at her house. Her dad took us to the dollar store and we somehow made him stay in the car. We got 2 pregnancy tests and neither one of us had any money, so we used her dad's debit card to buy these pregnancy tests. So sorry, he probably still doesn't even know. Got the pregnancy test, we went to go eat, and we went to her house. And as soon as we got to her house, I took one of the pregnancy tests. And at the time, I didn't know exactly how pregnancy tests work. I didn't realize that even the slightest line meant that you were pregnant. I thought maybe it had to be as dark as the control line. So being 16 and having no idea how that works, I took the test. 2 lines came up. One of them was faint, but you could definitely see it. We didn't know what it meant. We were kind of confused. I'm like, am I pregnant? I think I'm pregnant, but I'm not really sure now because I don't understand what this test is trying to say. So we spent all night trying to search up what the test meant. And then when I woke up the next morning at her house, I took the other test and it came up exactly the same as the test that I took that night. So Taylor told me she would take me to the health unit and we would get a test done there. So we waited until Friday. There was a buyout at school where you pay like $5 or something to get out of class and watch a football game. So we did that, but instead of watching the football game, we took the city bus to the health unit. And this day is very emotional to me. Everything's fine now, but just thinking about this situation and where I was at this time in my life, all the emotions just come right back, and I feel every single one of them that I felt on that day. So we got to the health unit and I was extremely nervous, and we went in and I can remember everything. It's like an HD video in my mind. We went into the health unit. We went into the clinic area and we told them that I needed a pregnancy test, and I sat down. I think they took me right away, and I went in. I peed in a cup. I opened the little door and put it in for them. I went to go sit into the room where the nurse would come in and tell me the results. And I just remember sitting there like, I can't be pregnant. Like, I was just kind of like, what? This can't be happening. I was sitting facing the door and Taylor was off to the side. So the nurse came in and I remember exactly what she said and the way she said it. She could have said it nicer, but she was just immediately, when she walked into the room, while it was positive, and I was just in complete shock. Like, I was just like, oh my god. And I didn't cry. I just was like, oh my god. Like, I was in shock. Like, I didn't know what to think. I was thinking, what did I do? What did I do? Like, I remember thinking that in my mind, what did I do? And she was talking to me about like all the options and stuff like that, and I wasn't really listening, but I told her I'm keeping the baby. There's no questions about it. I don't need a abortion clinic phone number or anything like that. I'm keeping the baby. So we left and we started walking to the drugstore, which is right beside it. I was extremely scared. I didn't know what to think. I was just really shocked and I was terrified, and I knew that my parents, I was just so scared to tell my parents, and they were going to be so disappointed in me, and I felt like a failure and that I let everyone down, and I didn't know what I was going to do, and just all these emotions. And despite all of those emotions that I was having, as soon as I walked out of the health unit, I felt this immediate love toward the baby. I loved the baby so much. I knew everything was going to be hard, and I didn't know if everything was going to turn out okay, but I just knew one thing, and that was that I loved the baby so much. We didn't have anywhere to go after because nobody knew that we were there. Everyone thought that we were at school and we were just going to take the bus home, so we were kind of like stuck. So Taylor called her, I think it was her grandparents, and we were waiting for them to come pick her up. And I told Dan, right after we left the health unit, I texted Dan and told him that I was pregnant, and he said that he knew that I was pregnant already. I told Dan, and then we were waiting for Dan and Dan's dad to come and pick me up. Nobody knew except for me, Taylor, and Dan. Dan's dad didn't know, and Taylor's grandparents didn't know. They just thought that we were at the drugstore. While we were waiting to get picked up, we went into the drugstore and I got prenatal vitamins and cocoa butter stretch mark cream, which I actually bought with the yearbook money that my mom gave me so that I could buy a yearbook. But I knew that I wasn't going to be in school very much longer, so I was like, I don't need a yearbook. So I just bought prenatal vitamins and stretch mark cream with the money that she gave me. Yeah, then Taylor got picked up, and then I got picked up, and that is how I found out that I was pregnant with Caden at 16 years old. And it's hard to talk about, but I'm going to make another video of how everyone found out that I was pregnant, but this is just how I found out that I was pregnant. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe, and don't forget to check out my other channel, and I will see you guys later. Bye guys.